Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's. I'm looking at another Land Rover Discovery here. It's the Discovery 5, so it's the 3.0 diesel. Okay, this guy's drove down from Wakefield down to see me. Now, it's been at a Land Rover specialist and he's been told it needs a new DPF. Not only that, he's had the DPF cleaned a few times. Every time he's gone to a DPF cleaning specialist, so they've just cleaned the DPF, got him on the road, and shortly afterwards the light comes back on, so it says DPF is blocked, and it doesn't go to amber, it goes straight to red. DPF blocked. So a bit of the story about it is, about a year ago he had the same problem and he had the throttle body replaced, which cured it for 12 months. Now the problem is back. But I'm just looking at the throttle body here. I don't know what's going on there, but looks like someone's tried to split that apart from here with a screwdriver or something, but apparently that's a new part. I'm not sure if it's a new part or if it was a new part or what's going on there, but someone's obviously been messing around with that. So using my launch Eurotab 3 scan tool, these are the two codes that we have in the engine: P0234-77 turbo overboost condition. Commanded position is not reachable. Now that's normally because the throttle body flap, it sticks, and he did have another code here for the DPF, but obviously it was cleared before he drove down here to me. Got an EGR valve one as well, which we're not looking at, but we're just talking about this one here for the minute. So let's go into some live data. We'll start the engine up. Okay, so he's just been quoted $3,500 to replace the DPF. He said he's been told it needs a new DPF. If we look on live data at the DPF here, particle filter pressure is 0. And if we hold the revs up a little bit, 30, 40, 50, 60 millibars at 3000 RPM. DPF is absolutely perfect, nothing wrong with it. Okay, so he's been told it's already had a new throttle body and the throttle body is fine. So if we take this off, I'm just going to disconnect the plug because the plug will try and counter my finger pushing it down. It's going to try and push it back. See that? If we press it down, it's sticking. So that needs a new throttle body. Apparently it was already replaced. I'm not sure, it's hard to tell. It's a low mileage Discovery anyway, it's only done 40,000, so, but I don't know if it's just a faulty part or has it even been changed. I don't know. So I'm gonna just use a little pry tool to shift the plate over to the right a little bit. Okay, so the whole point of me making this video is, now whether or not this part's been replaced, it's now faulty again. I'll be honest, looking around it, it's hard, I can't remember, but it doesn't look original, it doesn't look like a genuine part. Maybe it has been changed, but it's going to need a new part again. I'm sure Land Rover have made an updated, better part for these, and so yeah, the whole point of making the video is just, you know, to tell people, if you've got the DPF error coming up, don't just chuck a DPF. I've never seen one of these ever in my 15 years of doing this. I've never ever seen one of these need a new DPF. Well, how these came out in sort of 17, but I've never seen one of these or a Range Rover with this engine ever need a DPF. It's always the throttle body, and even if you fitted a new one and you're still getting a fault, change it again, because the new part's probably faulty. So I'm going to see if I can get hold of throttle body for this car, and we'll get it fitted right now today, as long as we can get hold of one. So this customer is going to have to, I suppose, have a little chat with his friend. He said he knows, he's been using the guy for 20 years and he knows him really well, Land Rover specialist. He was just going to charge him $3,500 for that DPF, and it clearly doesn't need it. So I don't know if the guy has just done that by mistake, or, you know, does he? Yeah, of course. Maybe it's just he doesn't really understand how to tell if a DPF needs replacing. If the pressure is low, you don't need a new DPF. Now, depending on what vehicle that is, of course, if your pressure is too low, then if you're holding it at 3000 RPM like some Discovery Sports you'd see sort of 20 millibars of pressure. So these go up in different readings, it's increments of 10. So 1 is 10, 2 is 20, 3 is 30, 4 is 40. Okay, we're going to go and get a new part for this and we'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so I've got a new part here from Land Rover. That's the part number there. So we're going to get this one switched over. And we can see if we press it, it's nice and free. So fitting this one on is a nice simple job, but you do have to calibrate it in, you have to program it. So we'll just get a little pry tool here, lift that up, and then we've got a 10mm bolt under that. Little clip here that goes around the pipe, take that off. Pull that down, release the electrical plug, tuck that over there so it's out of the way. Now we use a set of these clip pliers here. We'll get this opened off. Come over to the boost sensor here, plug that out. Now we should be able to just grab it, give it a bit of a wiggle to the right, like that. Twist it upwards and out it comes. Now the new one, I'm just going to put a bit of high temperature grease lightly around the rubber seals, just so it slides in nice and easy. So now I've lightly coated it with some grease. I'm just going to wipe around the area here where the new part's going to slide in. Let's get any of the soot off. Okay, we've got the new part. So the right side we'll probably try and put in first. Just like that. In that direction there. Line it up there to the EGR pipe. Get this clamp closed back up. Okay, so that's the clip on boost sensor. Plug it back in till you hear a click. Get the 10mm bolt here back in. Once that's tightened down, clip this in, plug back in the actuator motor there, and a very light coating of grease around the rubber ring again, and then we can just slip the new pipe back on, or the pipe back onto the new throttle body. Clip back in this clip, make sure you're pushing both sides, these little tabs, make sure they're pushed both in. Just give it a little bit of a pull, make sure it's on tight. Okay, that's all fitted now. Okay, we're going to come back onto the scan tool. Special functions, throttle idle speed, this one. Throttle valve actuator replacement. Make sure the ignition's on. And turn the ignition off. And then back on. Switch it off again, and that's successful, so that's calibrated in. Come back in on the scan tool now to the fault codes. Well, they seem to have disappeared on their own because I didn't clear them. Must have happened when I done the calibration. So we've got various other electrical faults here, but I'm not going to pay any attention to those. I'm going to press clear. Obviously we're just here to sort out this ongoing issue that he's had with the multiple DPF cleans and quotes for a new DPF. Okay, start the vehicle up and all should be fine. Now again, on the scan tool here, just because you get a fault code saying you need a new DPF or the DPF's blocked, don't always believe that. Obviously go in and check the DPF pressure. If the pressure is good, you don't need a new DPF, or it doesn't need cleaning. He's had this cleaned a few times and paid to have it cleaned a few times, and then had a quote for a new DPF, which wasn't, none of it was probably needed, I doubt. Right, that's it, it's all sorted. He can make his way back to Wakefield. Another happy customer from roadside. So that's all sorted, and I'll see you on the next video.